There's many car tips that I've shown you guys in the past, and some of these car tips just become everyday normalities now in GTA. It makes life easier and a bit more interesting. Here's some car tips that you may or may not know about. I think this one was so simple last time, how to get the first wheel for free, that people were so confused. They were like, "Hella, you're not telling us something here, we're missing something." And I could see that by the YouTube analytics as well. People kept rewinding this part. Now, on the street wheels, you can see that the first option is 35k. But for some reason, if you just spam stock wheels, all I did was press X on stock wheels or select on stock wheels, and it just got the rally throwbacks for free. So I didn't have to pay for that. 35k for free. So now if I go back to stock wheels, then I go to street wheels, and I just spam on select. Again, didn't have to pay, and I got these retro steelies for free. I don't know what it is, don't know why this happens, but it does. Now look, tuner, obviously, tuner, the Cosmos are a much nicer wheel, but they're not that expensive. So just make sure you're on stock wheels and just spam X on stock wheels when you're in the next category. So sports, just spam X on stock wheels and I get the Inferno. I want the Raider there, so just spam X and I'll get that free. I know it seems too good to be true and too easy, but it works. You get the first option for free every time in LS Customs. It's not that useful as you get one option per category, but if you're modifying a car on a budget, it's so simple and easy to do. A lot of you know that you can get some rare mods. Sometimes when you go to luxury autos or it's a prize wheel car, Simeons, you can get rare modifications like the stock wheel being black or white, which you can't modify. Or when the Lacuras came out, it had a different light bar at the back. When you purchased it from Simeons, it was a different rhythm to the one you buy off the website. But a lot of people actually don't know that in the auto shop as well, you can get rare modifications like stock wheels in chrome green. Now they've added green on the stock wheel, which has made it chrome green because the original wheels were chrome. Now, if you all know how the auto shop works, you can actually purchase this vehicle from here with that rare modification. Look, the wheels are stock, and then if I go to another wheel, you can see that it's green. Let's say you don't get that option. You get a car that's pretty much stock. You can deliver it, and then you can wait for the next car that might then have a rare option. Or you can just get cars that are not on the website. The auto shop really is a win-win when you can purchase these vehicles. One thing that's really old, the fend bend glitch, but never fails to impress me. Now, you can get your car faster than HSW cars. You can get specific cars going crazy speed. Now, I like to do this with the Comet Retro just because it's one of the easiest cars to do it with. Now, I'm going top speed, and you can see that top speed is around, you can just see over my steering wheel, about 120. We're going downhill now, 125. Let's say 130. Let's give it extra credit. But the fend bend glitch makes this car go a lot faster, and a lot faster than certain HSW cars as well. In fact, faster than the fastest HSW car. Just make sure you don't have bulletproof tires and kick on the arches at the rear if your car's rear wheel drive. If your car's all wheel drive, kick all the arches or just damage it. You don't have to kick it. You can do this with so many cars, and it's one of the most fun, most used tips I've been using. And you know when it essentially works when your car starts rumbling. Now my car here just about starts rumbling now, but it's not done to its best ability. The rumble isn't as violent enough, but we'll see what speed we can attain here. We're already past the top speed of what this car could do before, but you can see it gets to around 160. This can probably get to 170, and yeah, really hard to control. But I know this car can do better, so I keep kicking the car. I'll keep kicking it. You don't have to kick the car. You can damage the car by crashing it, but the cleanest way is to kick the car. So I'll keep going. So now let's see how fast this car, we're already past 160. And you'll see that this car, it always stops counting after 180. For some reason, the speedo just stays stuck. So it's the speeder that doesn't work, but this car keeps climbing. And if you do the high speed challenge, you'll be able to see, so you can get up to 200 miles an hour with it. So as you can see, it gets to that 180 mark, it stabilizes, the needle doesn't even move. And that's when you know you've maxed out the clocks on this car and it's going more than 180. And the only way to check that is really by doing the high speed challenges. And then that high speed challenge will show you probably going to like 200, maybe even more. Look, it's not even increasing a tiny bit. And that's all because the capped clocks in this car. Right, I really don't want to take off this color, but it's for the greater good. How do you get that two-tone pearl? So what I mean by that is, you can see there, it's not much a two-tone, it's more like a three-tone or a four-tone with this color. But yeah, it's got a weird pearl to it that you can change as well. You don't have to have it just those colors. Look, this one's more purple and green. But look, it does look different and unique. You can see the green more at this angle than the rest of the car. You can see purple. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is go on chameleon paint. Now, this is really hard to see because of the paint tone, but you want to find the pearl of your choice. So that means the top coat that's shiny. And really, it's so hard to see that. So I get it wrong a lot of the times. And you don't want to just click on random ones because these are expensive paint. With this green chameleon paint, I don't know if I actually might get two colors. It might just be a green, but I'll try it out just for this video. So go on that green turquoise flip, and then all you do is go on the crew color. Now, as you can see, that really didn't work out. There's not many colors you can see in that. But if we pick a different chameleon color, let's pick this oil slick and then go on crew, you can see the two-tone pearl here. And there's loads of other colors that are way more apparent. I'll let you guys pick out other colors that might work better. Like this one I've got on the elegy. But as you can see, whatever your crew color is going to be your main color. But now I'm going to show you how to add an extra color to your chameleon color. As you can see, this is only brown and green. Now, even though it doesn't work, we have green, blue, and brown. So let me pick a free one this time because this is getting expensive. But here we see two different colors. I'd say maroon and green. But you can actually add your own third color into this. So some of the things may seem useless here, but trust me, it's part of the process. Once you've picked your chameleon color, which I have, go on metallic, but do not click on anything. So just go in metallic, don't click on anything. Now, back out of metallic and change an option on your car. Now, this can be any option, but you don't want to waste money, so just pick a cheap option. It doesn't matter what it is. Now go back to respray, go on primary colors, and now for some reason you can put a pearlescent on top of your chameleon color. So obviously you could add another pearl to the car. It gives you a lot of opportunity to kind of ruin the chameleon color, but you can find some combinations that work well. Some combinations clearly don't work well, but if you want to make a certain color more apparent on your car, you can. Or if you just want a white pearl, you can. I think this is so useful, and it gives you that edge. It gives you individuality. Like, no one's doing this. No one's putting pearls on their chameleon pearls. Now, you might not have the variety of chameleon paints that I have, but you can make so much variety by adding pearls to the existing chameleon paints. A lot of people know how to dump the clutch, and normally people would think that's only something you can do in a rear-wheel drive car vehicle. Now, I brought the Rebel GTS out, which is probably one of the worst examples to do this with, but it shows how good this dumping the clutch in all-wheel drive vehicles can be. Now, this is me accelerating normally. Gradual increase like the Rebel does, like it just gradually increases. But this is me dumping the clutch on an all-wheel drive vehicle. You can see that boost. You can see how much compared to that pedestrian, the boost that this car gave. Now, in interior view, you get a good example of this. And you can see how gradual the speed is. But if we do the same acceleration and then we dump the clutch, you can see that speed boost of how quick the speed goes up. And yeah, it's so good for racing. It's so good when you get used to it. This becomes your new mean of traveling. Like, you always incorporate it. It's a skill that's hard to learn, but when you learn it, you use it all the time. Okay, now that we're in the Tempesta, you can see that the Rebel GTS was a bad example. Look at the difference. This car, look how much faster it gets with the speed boost. And some cars, I think like the Italia GTO, even wheel spin when you do this. How do you do this? I'm going to explain this in terms of brake and accelerate instead of telling you what button, because we have different controllers, we have a keyboard, audience. So when you're driving around pedestrian speed, you want to let go of acceleration. So you want to make sure the car's rolling. So you're letting go of acceleration, pressing brake and handbrake, and then you accelerate back again. So let go, brake, handbrake, and accelerate again. Now you see how fast I did that. You can see with the brake lights, and you also see I went that fast that I kind of slingshotted into a tree. So I'm accelerating, letting go of accelerate, handbrake and brake, and then accelerate. Now that's obviously a lot slow and ineffective. And you're going to do this straight away. You're going to accelerate, you're going to let go of acceleration, handbrake and brake, and then accelerate straight after that. So it's a sequence that is quite fast, and it's similar to the dumping the clutch. That's quite a fast method. Accelerate, let go of acceleration, handbrake, and brake, and then you just slingshot. It's so hard at the start. I remember how hard and frustrating this was. Actually, the first time I got this, it was all by accident. But then once you know how to do it, it becomes natural. And the speed as well doesn't have to be perfect. You can do it at slower than pedestrian speed, faster than pedestrian speed. It's effective in many ways, and it's something that just needs to be learned. I know we've got like a year left of GTA, but it's just a driving thing that people need to know. It makes your car so much faster. There is one unique tip that will be used and impress a lot of people, or shock a lot of people. And you guys all know how to do a wheelie. There's a certain method that allows you to drive the car as you would, and then keep wheeling, and just make sure you've got full control over the car before you do this. Now, it is weird to look at. It's essentially a second wheelie, and the method I talked about before is wheeling, and before this car hits the ground, let go of the throttle yourself and then accelerate again. And this is the easy method. Now, there's other methods to this, and this one's a bit more impressive but a lot harder. Now, the way to do that is wheelie, dump the clutch, and then the car just wheelies once it's done revving out. This is much easier at the airport, but I chose the harder way to do this. You can see how fast your car just slingshots forward. So first of all, you just wheelie like normal by holding handbrake and acceleration. And whilst you're mid wheelie, dump the clutch. So let go of your throttle, tap R1, and then get back on your throttle. That's really quick. You have to do that whilst your car's still up from the front. So mid wheelie, let go of acceleration, tap handbrake, and accelerate again. Really fast, the fastest you possibly can. And you'll hear your car just rev out when it touches the ground, and then it'll go for its second wheelie. And it's so satisfying and fun to do. I love this one, and when I was filming this, I reminded myself of how much fun I had. This is always much funner with friends, but it's also easier to do with friends. Now, not a cheap one. The Bambushka is 4.75 million. But if you already have this, make sure you unequip the weapons, because for some reason this doesn't work when the Bambushka has a certain weapon on it. So I just keep mine stocked. The fact that this thing not so long ago was buffed and it can take more rockets now is so much better. But when you take your Bambushka out and it's on the runway or wherever it is, you can open the rear doors and you can park cars in here. Now, this is fun when you're with your friends or anything, because your friends can stay in the car whilst you're flying the plane. But this is what it's called then. It's a cargo plane, and you can actually have cargo on there, which is vehicles in this case. Now, a bit of a tight squeeze, but you can get 2 cars. I think you can get 3 cars. But yeah, you just drive in, and look, you could close it from the inside, trap yourself in. But of course, we want to fly with our vehicles inside. And this does take a personal vehicle slot, so you can't just take out your personal vehicle. You can either use an AI Pegasus vehicle to put in the back, or your friend's personal vehicle, or if you have GTA Plus, a vinyl vehicle. Now, if you fly smoothly, if you fly like I am right now, and you lift up ever so slightly, you'll be fine. You can transport cargo wherever you want. Now, you can drop your friends off anywhere, or you can maybe play a bit strategic. I don't know, place them on Maze Bank quickly. Maybe not position them right here, but if you are a good pilot, you can drop them off here. They can reverse out. But yeah, it's a bit more fun. It's better than having the cargo bob with the new cargo bob. It adds a bit of roleplay that you never had before. What's this helicopter doing? What? And yeah, this adds a bit of roleplay that you didn't actually think was in the game, or you never tried before. This one I'd only say try if your friend has a Bambushka or it becomes on a major discount. I honestly think I've explored every single good tip in GTA. If you guys have any tips that you probably came up with yourself or you've just never seen on the internet, please do let me know and I'll make sure to shout you out next tip video. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy, and see you guys in the next one.